Indianapolis, the Steelers don't need running backs or guards, but they might want some. It's fair to question if Pittsburgh can keep a singular tailback healthy for a full season the way they used Le'Veon Bell, then James Conner, and watched them both get hurt. So, a third down back of some sort could make a bit of sense. Longtime starter Ramon Foster may leave the team in free agency, though, and B.J. Finney is a restricted free agent while Matt Feiler has backed up both guard and tackle. In that sense, the Steelers could use a mid-round interior lineman. I have the 7 draft prospects to keep an eye on tomorrow in NFL Combine workouts Friday, however, only 2 are guards, Travion Williams, RB, Texas A. He's far from the top of this year's backfield pecking order, but the 5'9", 200-pound tailback put up 1,760 yards and 18 rushing touchdowns from 271 carries in the SEC last season. One can picture Mike Tomlin citing these figures after day 3 of the draft. Bobby Evans, Oklahoma has played tackle, but seems to be considered a guard, which is about the level of project Pittsburgh is in the market for at this point. The Steelers have too many needs elsewhere to reach for a top-tier guard. That said, he'd probably have a year or so to develop before needing to start regularly. Darrell Henderson, Memphis. It's pretty hard to get nearly 2,000 yards in a season. Henderson did, tallying 22 rushing touchdowns plus 3 through the air. Don't put it past Randy Fichtner to take a back from the school where he coached for 6 years, either. Elijah Holyfield, RB, Georgia. Part-time Georgia running backs are so hard to pass up, especially after the season Sony Michel and Nick Chubb. At 5 feet, 11 inches and 215 pounds he might be undersized for the Steelers model of recent vintage, but that's kind of the point. Connor McGovern, Penn's detective in Colbert said this isn't a very deep guard class. McGovern said his agent tells him he's an early second-round pick. Agents tend to skew high on these things. McGovern's versatility as a center and guard who was briefly moved to tackle at PSU could attract the Steelers, though, should he fall beyond his representatives' hopes and projections. Tony Pollard, RB, Memphis. You don't have to consider him a running back for him to make sense for Pittsburgh. He would come into direct competition with Jalen Samuels for usage and maybe even a roster spot. L.J. Scott, RB, Michigan State's can be a power back down the road while taking some of the load off of Connor's shoulders. He also said he thinks Le'Veon Bell made a mistake in his contract situation, which the Steelers might be inclined to agree with at this point. His having only played in 5 games last season should make him available fairly late in the draft.